Chaque semaine, dans le Screen Parfait, des réalisateurs nous parlent de leur méthode de travail. Et aujourd'hui, c'est une légende que nous sommes allés rencontrer, John Boorman, le réalisateur, entre autres, d'Excalibur ou encore La Forêt d'Émeraude, qui fête cette année ses 50 ans de cinéma. Il s'est essayé à tous les genres, mais c'est avec un film autobiographique qu'il revient, Queen and Country, dans lequel il nous raconte son passage à l'âge adulte.
My intention was that this Queen and Country would be my last film. After all, you know, film is very exhausting, very physically tough, and you know, I'm 81 now.
John Boorman est né en Angleterre en 1933. Son enfance est marquée par la Seconde Guerre mondiale qu'il raconte dans le film autobiographique Open Glory sorti en 1987. Il réalise son premier long métrage à l'âge de 22 ans, puis s'essaie à tous les genres, thriller psychologique, film d'aventure, conte, film d'horreur ou encore d'espionnage. Pendant un demi-siècle et au fil de 17 films, John Boorman touche à tous les genres mais raconte sans cesse la même histoire, celle d'un traumatisme d'enfance, l'infidélité de sa mère qu'il aborde à nouveau dans Queen and Country, la suite de Open Glory, son film annoncé comme le dernier à 81 ans.
When you write a script, is that your unconscious themes tend to emerge. Not consciously, but they just do. The most, for me, the most powerful and poignant and emotional moment for me in the film Queen and Country is when the boy sees his mother waving to her lover across the river, and then he asks her, you know, do you still see him? And she says, no, we just wave. And then he says, well, I was 10. Do I betray my mother or betray my father? That was a hugely powerful influence on my life. And then if you look at Point Blank, you see it's about a man who is betrayed by his wife and his best friend. You see in Excalibur, the central story is really about Lancelot and Guinevere and Arthur, betrayal. And so betrayal is something that always seems to crop up. My children often accuse me of staring, you know, that they say you shouldn't stare. You stare at people, you know, and of course it is rude to stare, you know, and whereas, you know, there's that's why when you go to the cinema, you're allowed to stare.
They'll have their work cut out, making a soldier of you, pipsqueak.
What a pitiful bunch.
You are all about to be posted to Korea.
En 50 ans de carrière, John Boorman a expérimenté toutes les techniques de cinéma.
Film is only just over 100 years old. So I've been making film, I've been shooting film for 50 years. I had the opportunity of using the original Lumiere camera and shooting a film on it with the Lumiere stock. And you know, it was very, you couldn't cut, it lasted 1.5 minutes and you had to let it run for 1.5 minutes, that's all you could do. But, and oddly enough, if you look at YouTube now, you see these little films that are usually about 1.5 minutes. It seems to have come full circle. But 100 years ago, people didn't watch film. They hadn't the opportunity of seeing films. So that has been a huge psychological change to the human understanding, connecting with film, connecting to the past, connecting to dreams. It's all, and so there is this, you know, a magical element in film. And I think that subconsciously or even consciously, people are afraid of losing the magic of what happens when you expose the chemicals of film to images. And I understand that, but it's gone, and there's no way back. Whatever may be lost with film, the gain that you have in digital grading is much greater. When I was doing some tests before I shot Queen and Country, I went I arranged to show them in a cinema in Dublin, and I arrived at 10 o'clock in the morning with my cameraman, and there was nobody about, except there was a woman who was vacuum cleaner. And so I said, we've come to see these tests, but there doesn't seem to be anybody around. She said, oh, I'll do that for you. And she just went in and threw the switch. The whole art of projection is gone. When you do a night shoot, you put up a big lamp to give us a feeling of moonlight, backlight. And when you start, the first couple of hours of a night shoot, you spend trying to deal with all the flashes you get from the thing. You have to go, you put flags up to block them out. And of course, when you're shooting digitally, you don't have to bother with that because you can paint them out afterwards.
I am going for a swim. Come on, boys!
We're told by people who study the brain that memory and imagination are almost the same thing. That when you evoke a memory, you are applying imagination to it, because you, after all, whatever the event was, you are converting it into words. And that's what happens in a larger sense if you make an autobiographical film. I've been very privileged to be able to apply all the techniques of movie making to my own memories. One thing that I kind of regret, though, is that the memories, say, of my childhood are lost now. I only remember the film. The original memories have gone.
John Boorman, c'est un demi-siècle de cinéma, 16 films et un dernier, Queen and Country.